Righto, and we're back for the herbs and spices. We got cut off kind of at the end of the discussion on nuts and seeds, talking about nut and seed allergies and what you do otherwise, and you would just have to get your fat sources from other whole plant foods and or consider adding in some potentially some oils such as olive oil or something like that if you're not able to get sufficient fat on your diet. Okay, so we will move on to herbs and spices, which is a discussion that always gets me so excited because they're pretty intensive and they're so full of antioxidants. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that and love back to you. Thanks everybody for jumping over, making the switch over to the new live stream. So herbs and spices, I always get so excited. Hi, Tandy from North Carolina, because they're so high in antioxidants and it's really either delicious. It's so easy to add in those into your food and really boost the amount of antioxidants that are present and available in your food. The other cool thing that he talked about in this chapter was how great it is to mix the herbs and the spices with sources of fat. So, some herbs and spices and avocado or nuts and seeds. Adding those together can really boost the amount of phytonutrients that are absorbed from both. So, that is a great thing to know. And I also love that he referred to Fruit Loops as an abomination in the beginning of that chapter on page 350. Right? Okay, so he definitely talks about turmeric. And he's talked about turmeric so many times in this book. I am honestly shocked if you guys aren't eating turmeric already. I know I have my daily turmeric. You guys know I like my fresh turmeric more so than I've had since I was a kid. The other thing that I've really noticed, I have a torn meniscus in at least one of my knees, and if I aggravate it, used to I would aggravate the torn meniscus and I would be hobbling around for like 2 weeks at a time. Since I included the turmeric in my diet, I have noticed that if I have an issue with the meniscus, I just start resting immediately and then I down some turmeric. And after 2 or 3 days, my knee is totally back to normal. It's as if it was never injured, whereas it used to take 2 weeks or longer. So I'm so impressed with the anti-inflammatory abilities of turmeric. My goodness. Okay, I'm checking with you guys. Oh, 5X Disney fans, I'm sorry you got, I don't think you got blocked. I think you got timed out, but you definitely didn't deserve that. I think that was a mistake. That was just like an accidental button push. Louisa says, I used to be scared of fat because of acne, but actually incorporating healthy fats in moderation helped. Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, definitely, fat is important for the quality of our skin, the quality and the health of our skin and our brains and our eyeballs, and don't freeze, and all kinds of stuff. So it is important to make sure that you get enough of the right kinds of fats from, don't freeze, I swear to God, I can't handle it if you freeze, from a good source, and then mixed with the herbs and the spices, I've seen a great result. Oh, Ashlyn says, you've changed my life in so many ways. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear. That's just, it makes me so happy inside to know that other people's lives are changing their own lives in wonderful ways using information that has fallen out of my mouth on camera. I just love it. 5X Disney fan says, I bought goji berries once and they were really dry. Are they supposed to be? I think so, yeah. Goji berries are just like super dry and they always get stuck inside my teeth and it drives me crazy. But I'm pretty sure that they're supposed to be that way. And apparently they're amazingly good for you. So I guess it's worth it. You could soak them. I know I've soaked them before and they puff up a little bit more. But that is what it is. Alright. Sunny Pepper says, are you sure they were actual gojis? I bought some from a Chinese grocery and then read the small print and they turned out to be some other kind of dried berry that looks the same. Oh, tricky. I don't appreciate that. All right. Seed Saver Hero. I am not talking about politics right now. I am talking about herbs and spices. And we're going to stick to that because it's only a matter of time before YouTube glitches again and drops my live stream or I freeze with a weird situation on my face, okay? 5X Dizzy fan says, I injured my ankle on vacation, but seems to be healing quicker than in the past. I like to think it's being plant-based and gluten-free. Mm-hmm. But it is. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be aging and yet healing faster, isn't it? Catalytic Centaur. Awesome name. Lily, any ideas on good omega-6 sources? Maybe I missed that part, or of course, if you don't need to reply, anyone else? Well, omega-6 fatty acids are pretty easy to get. Like all oils contain them. A lot of nuts and seeds are high in omega-6 fatty acids. If you're not eating nuts and seeds, it can be difficult to get enough omega-6s. But if you are eating nuts and seeds, plus leafy greens and other sources of like whole grains, beans, those have a good balance of omega-6s and omega-3s. If you add a little bit of flax seeds, you're getting a good ratio. So I wouldn't worry too much about getting enough omega-6s, but just getting a variety of whole plant foods would be great. Great idea. Okay. Luke says, I feel best on a higher fat diet. I eat junk food if I don't get my coconuts and avocados daily. Well, it's good to know that about yourself. Oh, Jessica says, I can't keep you streaming. I'm so sorry. You know, the live streams and the connections are just not up to par. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce Vietnamese names. I had a friend with that name, and I asked her 1,001 times how to pronounce it, and I can never remember. I'm sorry. Hi, Lily. I tried dry brushing with your video the other day. I liked it even though it feels scratchy. Yeah, one, your skin gets used to it, and two, the brush tends to soften the more that you use it. Okay. All right. Angeli, is that how you say that? Or Angeli? I love cooking my goji berries in my Instant Pot with steel-cut oats. Heavenly. Wow, what an idea. That's mind-blowing. Thank you for sharing. All right. What time is it where you are? It is 2:44 in the afternoon. Seed Saver says, can I cure my myopia with goji berries and bilberries? I don't know, but you can try. Okay. Leslie says, I haven't been able to get a lot of omega-6 because I don't like nuts, and vitamin E is hard for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the nuts and seeds where those really live, and if you're not eating processed foods or added oils, it can be difficult to get those foods. I know I talked a moment ago, if you have like a nut and seed allergy, that could be one of the few times where including oils in your diet, or something like whole olives, if you can. Whole olives are always so salty that I don't like to eat them or recommend them, and plain whole olives taste like utter hell. So that might be a time where like olive oil could work, and avocados, of course, are a great source of vitamin E and omega-6. It smelled like maple syrup for days. I know that fenugreek also has some compounds in it. I think it's oxalates or phytates. I can't remember. Anyway, it has some compounds in it that can block the absorption of certain minerals, so that's why I tend not to use it as much, but I mean, it has potent anti-cancer properties. I would say that it's one of those things, use it occasionally, don't put it in everything. Something that I do put in everything, pretty much everything, is cilantro. And I don't know, do we have any people in here who don't like the cilantro? Where it's like, tastes like bugs to them? I'll come back to that. Nivea says, I actually bought those metal straws, a diffuser, and the dry skin brush after, your favorites video. Oh, I'm so glad. Those are such great things to have in your life. Oh my goodness. I've been loving my diffuser. Elizabeth says, are avocados cheap in Hawaii? They are not cheap and are not good at all in Montana. I feel for you there. Avocados are fairly cheap. Like, I get mine for $1.50 or $2, and, you know, they're nice and big, and they're pretty buttery and delicious. So, that's, you know, that's one of the perks of living here. Like like I said, it's like a give and a take, you know? I would kill for a good peach. I would literally kill someone for a good peach. Oh, Leslie says, I grew some cilantro that got 3 feet tall. That is impressive. Catalytic Centaur says, and avocados are friggin' expensive in Germany. I like them lots, but it's more of a monetary issue then. Yeah, I definitely understand that, man. It's not like you can get dried or powdered avocados. 5X Disney fan says, I find buying fresh herbs hard because you get so much of one. If I have time, I clean and chop them up and freeze them. That's a good idea. But yeah, they do generally come in the big bunch. It can be hard to use them all. That is why the dried herbs are like a great option. Sunny Pepper says, fenugreek is the bomb. It tastes so good. You can sprout it too. I tried sprouting mine and it just didn't sprout. And so I ended up just cooking the seeds with my rice, and that was pretty good, but it is weird. Dan says cilantro tastes like bugs to him. Kelly hates cilantro. It tastes like eating a battery. Interesting. Sunny says, doesn't cilantro help with leaching out metals from your blood or something? Yes, I've heard that. I've also heard that it can help to chelate and bind to radiation and take it out. So that is of more importance every day, considering the state of our world. Dima says, why do people not like cilantro? What madness is this? It's actually genetic. Dr. Greger talks about it. Leslie says she loves cilantro, but her mom says she thinks it tastes like soap. Oh, no. Alright, Cora loves cilantro. Fun fact, though, I used to dislike it before going vegan and whole food plant-based. I could understand that. Like, it's a weird... It can be like a weird taste. Nivea says, I don't know anyone who doesn't like cilantro. Now you do. Lord Cutler Beckett says, I can stand dry cilantro, but fresh cilantro, I just can't stand. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. There's fresh cilantro, and then there's coriander, which is the dried seed pod. I like to use coriander when I cook beans, because it makes an amazing flavor. The fresh cilantro I like more in salads and stuff. Yeah, all right. So he also talks about cayenne pepper and pain management. So there's that thing called Substance P, which is the stupidest name I've ever heard. It makes it sound like it's something from a superhero freaking book. The Substance P, it's like what makes you feel pain, yeah, and you can get rid of it by triggering it all at once. It's the similar way that trigger point therapy works, where you push on a muscle and it hurts really, 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 really bad, but then after, a day later, it doesn't hurt as badly. And then if you just keep doing it, then the trigger point eventually goes away and it doesn't hurt anymore because your substance P is gone. So anyway, looks like the cayenne pepper can trigger that, and it can help people if you snort it. Like, put it up their nose, didn't he? Yeah, the trigeminal nerve in the face to treat cluster headaches. Oy. And then it can also be good for people with digestive pain. And that was the weirdest experiment I've ever heard about. The one hand where they put a half-quart balloon hooked up to a fancy bicycle pump and inserted it and inflated it into someone's ass until they couldn't stand the pain anymore.